and welcome to the program. I'm Shola Shieli. The president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Yakubu Mekiao SAN, has convened the NBA State of the Nation Dialogue, which will hold on Monday, January the 30th. At that event, presidential candidates in the 2023 elections will speak to the bar on the three main areas of security, economy, and administration of justice. On Tuesday the 31st, the president will deliver a State of the Nation address which will articulate the position of the bar on these three issues. Now, why is the NBA putting this together, and what is the benefit to Nigerians? My colleague Ella Obaje Daniels spoke with the president of the bar to get his take.
The Nigerian Bar Association at this time decided to put together what it described as the NBA National Dialogue. And I would answer your question using two statements. The first by Sir Christopher Sapara Williams, who said that the legal practitioner lives for the direction of his people and for the advancement of the cause of his country. That clearly underscores the primary responsibility of every member of the legal profession. Because as a member of the legal profession, you are called to a privileged position to provide leadership to your people. Everything about Nigeria, for instance, is a function of the law. It is by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that we have a country today. It is also by the laws that draw their lives from the Constitution that would have all the institutions that operate the process of governance of the people in this country. And only the lawyers have had the privilege of being trained in that business of the law. So whatever you do as a nation and the things that you do in the process of dealing with the people within that entity, which is Nigeria now, we're talking about, is a function of the law. So the lawyer understands it better. And for instance, I just to give you a little more light to it, ignorance of the law is no excuse. It means whether you read law, whether you know it or not, whether you are literate or not. If the law says you should do something a particular way and you fail to do it, the fact that you do not know or you are ignorant of that law does not make your burden or your responsibility any less. How much more for the lawyer that was trained and he knows it? So the national dialogue is intended to set the tone for the nation in furtherance of that leadership position that we are privileged to occupy. And how do I mean? We have three thematic areas that would inform the discussion at the national dialogue. Number one, the issue of security. Security is something that concerns everyone in this country today. If there is one thing that we are sure to have eluded us in this country, is security. Number two, economy. And security has a direct impact on the economy. I mean, what you do, absent security, really cannot provide the sort of economic growth that you expect in the nation. And then again, the administration of justice. Administration of justice, because it is important for us to have justice in the nation, absent which you cannot have a nation, so to speak, because there is going to be chaos. And a statement was made by Usman Danfodio, which I found very profound. He said that a people can exist without religion, and you know Nigerians are quite religious, but that the people cannot exist without justice. And we call ourselves ministers in the temple of justice. So what we do, the service that we deliver to the people, the responsibility that we have to the people of this country to dispense justice to the people is intricately connected with the existence of this nation. So what we are trying to do, by the special grace of God, with the national dialogue, is to bring back the Nigerian Bar Association, to bring back the entire legal profession from its place of abdication to the place where we begin to demonstrate consciousness of the privileged position that we occupy vis-a-vis the people and begin to provide leadership let the people know that by reason of this privilege that we occupy, that privileged position that we have, we are living for the direction of the people. We are also living for the advancement of the cause of the nation. So that is why we have come together as an ESCO under my leadership to have this national dialogue. We set the tone for the nation. We invite presidential candidates. We set the benchmark for them from the point of view of the Nigerian Bar Association. We listen to them also, talk to us about what they intend to do when they assume office. And any one of them who wins the election, we are going to hold him accountable by what he has come to commit to us on behalf of the people of this country. So it becomes a basis for us to call you, knock on your door, whoever wins the election, to say, well, we had an engagement with you, and you now have a contract with the people of Nigeria, the social contract, they've elected you into office. These are the things that you said in these three broad areas. What have you done? What plans do you have? And these are the things you said to us. So it becomes a basis upon which we can hold them accountable for the stewardship that Nigerians would entrust to any one of them that would eventually win the election. That essentially is the reason for convening the national dialogue by the Nigerian Bar Association.
So let's talk specifically about the administration of justice, which is one of the three core areas of the dialogue. By putting it at the front burner, is it an admission that the country is not where it ought to be?
Well, let me answer this in a general sense, and I won't go into specifics because that would mean having the dialogue ahead of the 30th of January. I am tempted to apologize to Nigerians on behalf of the entire legal community in this country. And you see, I can do this because, number one, God permitted me to be alive today. God made it possible for me to be a lawyer. If you listen to my story or you read my story, you know I have no business being in law. I was a student of veterinary medicine when someone told me that I've been admitted to read law. Fast forward today, I'm the president of the Nigerian Bar Association. If God permits it to happen, and there is no authority anywhere except the one that God has permitted. So I stand in position to do what I just did. Apologize to Nigerians because the legal profession has abdicated its responsibility. And it is largely the reason why we are where we are today. And so, yes, we are not where we are supposed to be. And I believe that if the legal profession, if the members of the legal profession have come to the realization of who they are and acted with the understanding of that identity and lived for the direction of the people of this country and for the advancement for the cause of this nation, we wouldn't have been where we are today. We wouldn't. And let me maybe give a little bit of context. I just quoted what Sir Christopher Sapara Williams said. And that has to do with an understanding of the primary call of every lawyer. How many of our lawyers today, and it includes me, senior lawyers, those of us that are privileged to be senior lawyers, have made statements like this or have lived this sort of life? We also have a senior advocate who demonstrated an understanding of this sort of life. Late Chimeze, a senior advocate that started the Legal Aid Council, he sold his properties because he saw that the indigent people didn't have representation, and he began to render legal service to them free of charge, pro bono. That is what is responsible for the emergence of the Legal Aid Council. It started by the work of one individual who had an understanding of that primary responsibility. But what do we have today? With due respect to all of our colleagues, we are reputed more for the amount of money we charge for the cases that we do. Hardly would you hear any one of us being reputed for standing for his people, giving direction for his people, and actually standing for the advancement of the cause of this nation. So that is where we are, and I believe in a general sense that it's because the legal profession has abdicated. So we owe Nigerians an apology, and we must begin to walk our way back from that point of abdication to the place of responsibility. And that is why we are doing this. We won't just allow anybody to come and take responsibility for the governance of the people. We would hold you accountable. We are the ones that the people are looking at. They are looking up to us for leadership. And that also brings me to the place of how we have conducted ourselves. Because for us to be able to provide that leadership, the people must have confidence in us. And that calls for responsibility in the area of our professional conduct. We have to be professional in things that we do. We have to be ethical in our own conduct. We cannot afford to conduct ourselves in a manner that would erode the confidence of the public in the profession. And that is why the administration of the Nigerian Bar Association, under my leadership, we are very, very strong about professional conduct.
Can you do an assessment or evaluate where the administration of justice is presently?
We are not doing badly, given the resources that is available for the administration of justice, but we have lots of concerns. I mean, for instance, if you look at the police, because it's a complete chain. You look at the police service, you look at the prison service, you look at the courts, the welfare of the judges and justices, you look at the staff, what is the manpower available. Look at the infrastructure that the judges and justices have at their disposal to do their work, their constitutional responsibility. And you would agree with me that with the little that is available to them, they are doing their best to deliver justice to the people of this country. We are not where we should be, but we are certainly not at that place where we had always been. We've moved ahead, but we are not where we ought to be. We came on board with the understanding that there has to be a deliberate investment in the administration of justice, and particularly with the judiciary. You have to be deliberate about the welfare of the judges and justices. Many of them, if you see the volume of the work they do, it takes a great toll on their health. We don't even have packages for them, welfare packages that cater for their health, given the kind of workload that they have to deal with. And so we decided that the first thing we have to do is to begin to speak to government about the need to review the salaries and allowances of judges and justices in this country. What did we do? We set up a committee immediately, and at every forum, we spoke about it. We set up a committee for that judicial salaries and allowances review, and because of the importance of that subject, I chaired that committee. We had consultations at different levels of the courts in this country. We had also consulted other judiciaries across the world and looked at what they do for their judges and justices. And we came up with a report. And incidentally, that report was submitted to the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. And it is our hope that in addition to submitting that report, we would have an opportunity of sitting down with the Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission to look at those reports together with other stakeholders and see what we have proposed. We are prepared to justify all our recommendations in that report. So that is what we have done from the standpoint of the Nigerian Bar Association.
So I would like you to react to the alleged endorsement of the PDP governorship candidate for Akwa Ibom State by the NBA State Chapter of the association.
Well, that's assuming it is true. Assuming it is true. That is despicable. It is disgusting. Every adjective that you can use to condemn that, and I condemn it in all its sense and ramification. Because the Nigerian Bar Association, actually when I saw it, I thought they are talking about a national basketball association somewhere, until I saw a reference of the Nigerian Bar Association. That cannot be the Nigerian Bar Association that I know and that I heard today by the special grace of God. Nigerian Bar Association is not partisan. Nigerian Bar Association remains neutral. The responsibilities of the Nigerian Bar Association, amongst others, is to the promotion of the rule of law. And you cannot do that if you are partisan. I mean, they have no business endorsing any candidate for any position whatsoever. And so I have also called the chairman to say that, look, if you people did this, I'm issuing you an instruction, because he said that was not what happened. That's what I said, why I said if that actually happened. He said that was not what happened. There was an attempt to do that, but that did not happen. I said, well, you have to issue a statement immediately to say that that did not happen, because that cannot be a representation of what the Nigerian Bar Association stands for.